Hey you all, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. If you are new, thank you so much for clicking on this video. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you as well. Today I have another What's for Dinner for you all, and you all know I always have quick, easy, simple, affordable meals. So let's go ahead and hop right on in. For this goulash recipe, you'll need 1 pound of ground beef, one 29-ounce can of whole kernel corn, 4 15-ounce cans of kidney beans, 2 15-ounce cans of diced tomatoes, an onion, taco seasoning mix, and an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce, and you will also need salt and pepper to taste. I'm going to start by browning my ground beef, and I'm also going to cook the onion with the ground beef. And you're probably wondering why I'm calling this goulash and it doesn't have any noodles, because what most people call goulash is meat and noodles. But this is just how my mom made it, and this is what we've always called it, is goulash. So I just wanted to clarify that so y'all didn't think I was crazy. But we always called this recipe goulash, and it does not have noodles in it. This was actually one of my favorite meals growing up, so I finally decided to try to make it myself, and it turned out really good. And this is definitely the meal of the week that I am recommending for you all to try. Since I don't have any crock pot liners, I did spray the crock pot with some cooking spray, and I did not drain the ground beef because I used lean ground beef and it didn't really have any fat that needed to be drained off. But if you use a fattier ground beef, make sure you drain it off before you pour it into the crock pot. And now I'm just going to go ahead and add everything in. Would you all please comment down below and let me know what would be a good time for you all for me to upload? The options are morning, which would be from 8 to 10, and then afternoon, which would be 11 to 3, or evening, which would be 4 to 6. That's what times that I could upload. So comment down below and let me know what would be a good time for you all. Also, you're going to drain all of the juices off of all the canned stuff except for the tomatoes. Do not drain the juice off of the tomatoes. I did add in 1.5 cups of chicken broth, but I forgot to film that, so make sure you add in 1.5 cups of chicken broth. Now I'm just going to cook it on low for 6 hours. And here it is 6 hours later. To go with it, I'm making some cornbread muffins, and I'm really sorry I did not realize that the bowl was so far over to the right when I was filming this, and Lord please look over my nasty counter. That looks so bad. Now I'm going to spray the muffin pan with some cooking spray, and then I'm going to add the cornbread mixture, and I'm going to try to get them as even as possible. And you're going to notice that I make a huge mess with this. I should have spooned it out or something. I'm sure there's a cleaner way to do this, but you know what? I just did it like this and it'll be all right. Now I'm baking them for 20 minutes on 450 degrees. For the jalapeno popper casserole, I'm going to boil 3 chicken breasts until they are done all the way. Now I'm going to add in some celery salt. I just like to add celery salt whenever I'm cooking chicken, and I'm just going to add in a tablespoon or so. I don't really measure it, I just pour some in. Once the chicken is done, I'm just going to shred it with the mixer. And not long after I started my YouTube channel, it was like one of my first videos, someone commented and said to use the mixer to shred chicken. And ever since that, I have used the mixer to do that, and it makes it so much easier. So whoever you were, thank you so much. I can't remember your name and I'm really sorry, but thank you so much for saying that and letting me in on that little tip. Now I'm just going to mix up a block of room temperature cream cheese until it's creamy. Now I'm adding in some heavy whipping cream, and then I'm going to add garlic powder and chicken broth. And I could have mixed everything together all at once, but for whatever reason I added in one thing at a time and then mixed it. I'm just dumping the shredded chicken into the bottom of this dish, and then I'm going to dump the cream cheese mixture over top of the chicken. And a little tip I have for this recipe is I think it would be better if you mixed everything together, the cream cheese mixture, the shredded chicken, and the shredded cheese. When I was eating it, I could tell that it wasn't like all mixed up, and I wasn't really fond of that. So I think if you would just mix everything together, that it would be better. This recipe came from Mrs.Dickinson 1910, and I will have her linked down below in the description box so you can go check her out. She makes some really awesome looking meals all the time. Now I'm just going to add some shredded cheese on top of that, but if you were to mix everything together, you would not do this. But I have 6 jalapenos that I have washed, cut in half, and removed the seeds. And now I'm just going to place them on top of that. And then the recipe also calls for crumbled bacon, but I didn't have any, so I just didn't put it on there. But if you would like to do that, make sure you have used some fried and crumbled bacon. Then I'm going to bake it on 400 for 30 to 35 minutes. I just want to make sure that the jalapenos are nice and tender, so it might take a little longer depending on your oven. Here it is once I got it out of the oven. On Thursday night, I'm doing the Mississippi pot roast, and I got this recipe from Brittany's World. I'll have her channel linked down below as well. But you will need 1 beef roast, some pepperoncini peppers, is that how you say that, I think? And then you'll need some gravy mix, the au jus, or however you say that, and 1 stick of butter. I'm just going to trim the fat off of this roast before I start cooking it, and then I'm going to cut it up into chunks. That way it doesn't take as long to cook. I didn't get an end shot of this or get to show the sides I made with it because we ended up having family come over and it was getting a little crazy, so I was just trying to hurry and get it done. But I did have some mashed cauliflower with it and some coleslaw, but this is really good. You all need to try it as well. I've seen a lot of people make it, and then I was watching Brittany's What's for Dinner and she made it and it just looked so good, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna finally make this. But it is really good. Everyone loved it. You just add as many peppers as you want and as much juice as you want. I've cut the butter up and I'm just going to place it on top of everything, and then I'm going to put the lid back on and I will cook it for 6 hours on low. Since I cut it in chunks, I'm getting to take 2 hours off of the cook time. And that is it for this week's What's for Dinner, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye guys!